Genesis 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in to a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. We need to consider the deep sin of these sons. We're not told why he sinned. It seems a reasonable supposition he sinned in the same way as Onan, but he was killed for his sin. Think of this, fathers, how fitting and right it is that God would visit the father's sins on the children, that there would be a deepening, even a multiplication of the sin of the father in the son, and the son would in that way be punished. Your sins have consequences in the generations. Take heed of this, and let it make you a holy man. It should trouble you greatly to think that carelessness in sin would have such evil consequences in the next generation, that they would be so bad that God would have to exercise an extraordinary judgment in killing them on the spot. But we need to speak as well of this sin of Onan. Again, men today do not plumb the depths of this sin as they ought as well. Most recognize, which is quite obvious, that Onan is unkind to his brother, whose seed he is supposed to raise up. He, in withholding the seed from its natural intent to conceive within the woman's womb, instead spilling it on the ground, has certainly sinned against his brother. But this sin is much deeper than that. And in fact, the sin against the brother is made so much worse by the fact that it is a peculiarly disgusting form of perversion. Perversion is not too strong a word for this, because God intended seed, as every farmer knows, to be planted. Seed is not for ruining upon the ground. We wouldn't do that with a package of cabbage seeds. If we received a handful of wheat and it was intended for planting, we wouldn't throw it in the trash can. We would value the life of that wheat and the potential fruitfulness of it far more than that. How much more the life of man, who was created in the image of God. Man has seed as well. The Bible, speaking here of the man's seed, not denying that there's a woman's seed as well involved in this. But without the union of those two seeds, there is no man. This is the means God's established for life, human life, to be created. And if we despise those means of life by twisting them apart from their natural use, we despise human life itself. This is a breaking of the sixth commandment. It's a form of murder. It, in fact, is a lesser form of what we call abortion, the killing of a seed already joined together and to some extent developed into a fully formed man. It is lesser than that, but in principle it is the same in that. As one author has said, it's as if a man would reach into the womb and pull out the child. That's what abortion is like. But this is doing it before the child's even born, crushing the acorn or the oak in the acorn. It is a gross sin against mankind. It's a gross sin against the seventh commandment because it uses the blessings God has given in marriage apart from the purpose for which God has given them. We read in Malachi that he gave a husband and a wife so that there'd be a godly seed. You may need to face this perhaps for the first time from a minister, but I'm telling you the truth. You do not have to be married. Paul explains that in 1 Corinthians 7. There can be time with people that can handle it to withhold from marriage. But to be married is an implicit promise to use the means of marriage for their intended purpose, to have children. It is not your choice, married couples, to prevent conception. It is not within your choice to spill human seed. When you do this in all the various forms it can be done, some more gross and disgusting and outward, some more hidden. Nonetheless, in all of them, when human seed is wasted, it is a form of murder, and it is a form of perversion. It is a sin against your wife or husband. It's a sin against God. And it's a great sin for which God killed Onan. And think about all the other complications that make it so sinful. Because you withhold not only from your spouse, from your wife, men, the very thing for which she was made, given a womb by God to be fruitful, to be like a fruitful vine by the sides of your house, Psalm 128. You're sinning against the church as well, by withholding from the church a godly seed. You're sinning against your nation, and think particularly in a day of such hatred of our people, to refuse to do your part to increase it in a day when all our enemies are seeking the best they can to decrease it. It aggravates this sin. God was so kind to you, all of you, when he said in Genesis, be fruitful and multiply. And who are we to say, no, God, I'd rather not have your blessings. God says, thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord, that he will fill his quiver with children as with arrows. It's an insult to his kindness to pervert the natural use of marriage and to, as it were, cast back God's blessings upon him. Say, I don't want them, God. I'd rather have, to be frank, a few moments of pleasure. People of God, you need to see this sin in all its ugliness. I recognize that this cuts deep, deep into our modern selfishness. But it is good. God tears us in this way that he might heal us. And I'm speaking plainly with you so that you might be delivered from the deep corruptions of this present evil age. May the Lord bless us in this.